Banished Souls. This is your Captain Cryptic. So, if you're following us, it's probably because you found us when we were streaming Skull and Bones. We are not done with that game, obviously, but I wanted to bring you a new game. Well, I say a new one, maybe new to you. This is actually an older game, but it is free to play. You can find it on Game Pass, and it's pretty great for those who like to pay to play or pay to win. You can buy ships and stuff here in the store, but they're not going to be anywhere near as strong. The ship's not going to be anywhere near as strong as the ships that you actually take the time to research in what is called Bureau. You actually have, now we have a totally different list of ships you're going to see if you're just starting out, but you're going to be able to come in here and research these, and it's going to have certain types of events you need to do. So let's bring this up here. So we need to do, looks like a breakthrough would be 4 million of those science credits. I'm just going to let it do its own thing. But you can speed these up using commanders, different types of ships that you own, and then you have these different types of trials that you can run as well. We've completed those. That'll be for the Z-52. That will be a destroyer for Germany. Now, if you don't care about doing a bureau, and where you're really going to be starting at is you're going to be starting off, and depending on what country you start with, USA, Japan, UK, Germany, France, Russia, Italy, the Pan-Europe fleets, and the Pan-Asia fleets as well. So those are, I mean, they're always adding content to this. You can see we usually would start off with, say, a cruiser here in America, and then you're going to work your way up, and you can see where these trees begin to tear off. So one of the things I like about the American ships are the cruisers. We got those to 6s. But really my favorite ship in the game, it has to be, if you're looking at this to move up, which means that you're earning your anchor points and stuff like that, you're going to want to use a level 5 ship. Doesn't cost as much to use on anchor points, and you have to earn those back. So it's not cost you real money to play, but I mean, you get down into the free ships, which you just make, pure profit on, like the Wakatake, stuff like that. If you're looking for great destroyers, though, I've definitely got to recommend the Germany's. So you have the V-25. This is just an amazing ship. We'll throw it in. That's a level 2. We'll throw one in real quick and show you what you can do. But for those of you who just want to play against AI, you don't like PvP, they have a dedicated versus AI that is going to be arena builds. It's not open maps like in Skull and Bones in some of these games. It's a large arena. You can move around freely within it, but it doesn't allow you to leave that boundary. It'll slow you down. So you can play against AI with people online, or you can do standard, which is where it's going to be player versus player, 2 teams, sometimes 3 or 4 teams, depending on what mission you're given. Most of the standard missions are just 2 teams. Then you start getting into arena. This is going to fight against players in teams of up to 3. So you're going to have 4 teams, up to 3 players per team, or you may be in there 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. Four players just fighting it out. Then you have ranked. Then you would have Brawl. I always love Brawl. They kind of nerf the ships around. Maybe they reload torpedoes faster, but they lose a little bit of damage. With the right cards, you can just sit there and spam the ocean with them. Then you have your fleet battles. This here is pretty awesome. You want to assemble your own division to get into it. Then this is where fleets are going to combat each other. So that's something that I really want to get involved in here, and may invite some of the guys over from Discord, see if we can get us some sort of a division started. So then you have training, which is where you can work on your tactics and attacking ships and stuff like that if you're just starting off. So it's got a little something for everybody. Commanders, you're going to earn these things throughout the thing. You're going to get like these fantasy type commanders that do weird stuff. So one of the coolest commanders I actually have is this blue Fioria. So she can actually take and cause your torpedoes to reload. Let's see if we can find it here. Yeah, so this in here would actually reduce the amount of reload on your torpedoes by 30%. Torpedo detectability, you lose 150 meters on it, but you also lose 40% of your torpedo damage. So that's one of those things like we would use in a brawl. Those are great, but as long as you don't have that added on there and you have something like this, you're going to be able to reduce the reload times and increase your torpedo speeds and so on and so forth, and it'll show if there's any negative effects on there. So we're going to go in and, you know what, I haven't played this game in forever, so I think we're going to start off with this V25, guys. Man, I used to be so good with this thing. And what you're going to find is the ship level isn't going to reflect the type of people that you play against. So a lot of these things here, you guys are starting off trying to build your fleets up. You're going to come against some very aggressive players, and then you will come against some very strategic players. So you really got to watch out for that. The biggest thing that you got to worry about in the V25 are the bombers and torpedo bombers coming off of an aircraft carrier. So typically, if you have an aircraft carrier on your team when you start in, theirs is going to be almost directly across from it, but mirrored. So it'll be on the opposite side. 9 times out of 10, sometimes it's directly across. So just look, see, does our team have an aircraft carrier? And the way we do that is come in here. We don't have one means they don't have one. So we're good to go. However, there are 4 destroyers, so we definitely got to be mindful of that. Now, the reason I like this particular country for the destroyers is they actually have some of their ships where your torpedoes will shoot directly off the front. And of course, a widespread on the side. Some of those other ones you don't have that front load. And if you're an aggressive style player like I myself am, you really want to be able to launch them torpedoes. So physics on the game, as long as you stay within a certain proximity of other players, which is, I believe this one is, let's see, if we're not shooting is 4.6, if we are shooting 6.6 kilometers. So as long as we aren't firing our main guns, we can launch as many torpedoes as we want. We're not going to give away our location. So when you do play as a destroyer, I recommend that you play aggressive. Now you can play hide and seek around these islands and stuff like that if you want to. That's totally up to you. But I like to be a little bit more aggressive and always save your engine boosts, which would be that little propeller on the bottom left, or the smoke. What that's going to allow you to do, if you are actually seen, pop smoke and just haul butt the other way if you have to. But usually you can slide in on these guys pretty fast. I usually use it on my final approach coming into a ship just to get that extra speed. But it tells you how far your weapons will fire. So like torpedoes is 7.3, main battery is 8.5 when you look at that list, guys. Alright.
Engine boost activated.
I'm spotted by someone, which means we got a destroyer around here. So what you can do is you can pop smoke, just kind of fan around a little bit, and that's going to make it so he can't see you, which means that this other guy can't see you till it's too late. But we are going to go ahead. It looks like he's slowing down, so we're going to pop some torpedoes where I think he's going to be at. But we're also going to work our way in closer.
Smoke screen set.
I think we'll have to deal with old dude over here. Alright, so we are now within visual spotting range of him. No, we took one. There's a destroyer between it. No, it is a cruiser, so he has torpedoes of his own. Had flooding took us out. So it's been a while since I've played this. I think we might get a strike on him with them torpedoes. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we might get him with one. Unless we missed him. No, we got him with one. So at least we did some damage. But you typically want to kill a ship, so you can return to port. You don't have to wait on that battle to end. That's up to you if you want to or not. If you're just grinding through points, you want to play as many ships as you can. I am going to have to definitely practice up on that. Now, my absolute favorite ship for ranking and missions and just earning money and stuff like that in the game was the Fuso. I mean, was absolute beast. I'm going to have to definitely brush up on this game some more because I made some really bad mistakes in that one. I should never got close enough for the cruiser to spot me. That's where that strategy stuff comes in. And when you get used to playing a pirate ship game and you just barreling in there like I do, and a sandbuck, man, it's hard to get back to slow play. Like I say, these are strategy games that have really cool battle effects. So if you build up a division, you can actually have a pretty good game with some folks. Okay, looking at the layout we have, we've got a lot of mountains. This will shoot over most mountains, but not all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ship in full reverse, and I'm going to bring it around to the edge of the map this way. And that way, once I get it straightened out, I can just come forward by a quarter impulse or so and just creep my boat across the map and shoot over these mountains at people. Typically, the way it works, if you got enough destroyers going out spotting the fleets, you want to make sure that you give them some backup, to help them out. I typically start off with armor piercing rounds with this ship for the larger ships, and if you start to see their destroyers getting closer, you're going to want to switch over to the explosive, the HE rounds. The reason for that is the armor piercing will underpin the armor and not actually detonate. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that. They got some pretty real physics in this game when it comes to the way that the munitions and stuff actually work. So it actually looks like we have their entire fleet, counting 5. So that leaves 4 guys unattended, but 5 guys headed into C. So we can do what we can either hang back with these guys. Typically, I will come up here and I will give the team where the most enemies are going to be at support, because that's how you're going to get your points, guys. You don't have a limit of ammunition on this. It has a little reload time on it. Once it reloads, you're good to go. So you can check their distance, then check your distance against it in open water. It's going to be hard to shoot over that mountain, so I think we're just going to keep barreling over here. Now my commander on this does have a ability if I get close enough where it's going to increase my range, so I just got to get close enough to some of these other players here. See if we can shoot over that. I'm going to try and push him out. They'll get in behind her and just hide. Yes, it's just a little tall there. So we got a destroyer 14.8 that way. You got to listen to your commanders to call out what's coming. And you're going to have to try and guess to lead them, because they can turn, slow up, slow down, speed up. They come in these weird angles, and it can be tricky to hit them sometimes. Cruisers, not too worried about if they get within 10 kilometers of me. Even if they got torpedoes, this will usually take 6 to the side. Unless you're using some kind of souped up deal on there, which they don't really have much of. But you want to get a nice, good hit on what they call the Citadel. Because that's where your points are going to come. I think we can hit them from there. It's really kind of hard to see them. And we miss. So you got to be careful with where you shoot your shots, guys. Or you'll just be wasting ammo. Or wasting your rounds and your shots. It's Pensacola. Yeah, I think we'll lead out a little bit here. See, this is why you want to have a division of your own, because we're obviously playing against a division right now. They've just filled up the server, which is cool. I mean, you can learn how to play a lot, but the team I'm on is not very organized. Look like half of them has already been nuked out of the freaking ocean, so. Send a little something to them. As long as they don't speed up, I think we got them. Alright, there's one. So as long as you're getting the kill, man, it doesn't really matter. You're earning points, man. But you can kind of figure out how you want to do it. A lot of people like to play in AI. I like to play against other players. You get more earnings that way. As long as they don't turn hard right, I think we got him. Just barely missed.
Main turret critically damaged.
We got repair kit or a repair crew we can use. And it's up to you how to use those. I think it's just me and one other guy left. Now what you'll run into is a lot of these guys, they will, when they start to, their team's going to lose, they'll just run for the edge of the map. Just fight it out. Get what you can in points. No one likes a sore loser.
Main turret critically damaged.
Reload, baby. Come on. Tennessee. Man, he punched him back in reverse. I might catch him. He's got a special type of armor on him that is a pain to penetrate. You got to crack it with armor piercing and then fill him up with HE. So at least we got us a kill. It's the main thing. But I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope to see you in it. I'm going to start trying to brush up on this thing some more.